Yes, I actually got to play Planet Coaster 2 in the comfort of my own home, albeit remotely and with the Frontier devs watching everything I did, but I still got to play the game for 2 whole hours. Wowee. So let's have a quick chat about the things that excited me, shall we? Before our session, I was lucky enough to get a preview of the shiny new pre-order trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, don't fret, I'll play it for you now. If you have seen it, watch it again, it's great. Wowee, how exciting. First of all, how good does the theme sound? Whether it was Jim Guthrie, JJ Ibsen or both, it was a fantastic rejuvenation of the original theme. The trailer itself was a great showcase of all the features they want to shout about. We saw a couple of new biomes, our first actual look at a switch track, the scenery brush, modular pathing, shops placed on top of pathing, pool construction, animatronics, adding scenery to rides and coasters, the shade mechanic, water and power distribution, RNG staff, weather, updated staff zones, blueprint sharing, and of course, drop tracks. They crammed a lot into one small trailer and the game is really starting to take shape. There's far too much to unpack here, but there were a couple of things that really stood out to me personally, one of which being the greater representation with the staff. I was so tired of every janitor and mechanic not only looking the same, but only being one gender. It's fantastic to know that all staff will now behave like the existing vendors, different on each placement. And they've confirmed this extends to the entertainers. And I suppose I can't ignore the drop and switch tracks, they look fantastic. That slide across looked beautifully animated and I can't wait to start playing around with them. Still no mention of transfer tracks, which is a big one for me, but looking at the level of detail we're seeing with park management, I'm still keeping my hopes up. I'm sure other creators will analyse every frame of the trailer under a digital microscope, so I won't break it down any further. Instead, let's talk about the game itself. The session began in a career mode scenario called Double Trouble, with fully voiced characters adding some story-based immersion, much like Planet Coaster Console Edition and Planet Zoo. We're reintroduced to Oswald Thompson as he explains that Kenta Suzuki has bought a section of land in the same park. Gah, what's he like? Exposition aside, this mode introduced the concept of park sharing very well, with a simple overlay showing who owns what, which I imagine will be incorporated into the asynchronous multiplayer franchise mode. The goals were frustrating as I always found them in the prequel, this time building a pool that meets a certain prestige level, so as always I ended up resorting to the age-old trick of spamming animatronics down to boost that scenery rating. But I'm well aware that career mode is simply not for me, and doesn't detract from how well executed the mode is. And not to say I didn't gain anything from the experience. I had my first experience with the pool builder, which was easy peasy, and even a crash course in power management from Adam Woods himself. Aren't I lucky? He explained that you place down your power source wherever you like and then add distributors around the park. Once the nodes are connected, your distributors emit a radius of power, affecting everything in the vicinity. I love this mechanic because it adds functionality to our existing backstage areas, in that we can create dedicated power and water areas, and then strategically place and perhaps disguise our many distributors dotted across the park. This won't be for everyone, of course, so I can only imagine there will be a setting to disable power and water. I had a quick look through the flat ride list and there are a lot of familiar names, but definitely a fair few new ones, including Behemoth Swing 360, Frenzy Frill, Monsoon Shoot, Parallelogram, Skybeam, and Synchronize. A couple of our previously themed rides have been stripped back and renamed, like Upswing and of course the Tiny Eye. The Upswing looks great in its neutral state, and I even removed the pattern work to show just how lovely and plain it can really be. Moving on to track rides, we've got the usual suspects returning, but the addition of a family train, single deck bus, I like buses, and this funky 4-seater thingy. Now, you might think there's something missing, and it actually gives me hope. You'll notice there are no traditional dark rides here, none whatsoever. Now, they're certainly not going to give us a sequel without any dark rides, so my guess is that they're saving it for a later update. A big reveal, hopefully along with the associated bits and bobs to go with them. I won't go into coasters because there are far more suitable people to deep dive into all makes and models and relevant factoids like Corvus or Nerdchacho. Anyway, time for Sandbox, where I long to be. I got a super quick glimpse at the menus, and it looks like we start with 4 biomes, and this is what the loading screen looks like. You're welcome. And here we have our new default spawn point. Some solar-powered double-deck buses. Don't they look lovely? The guests kind of just passed through the windscreen like T-1000 from Terminator, but looking at it, it looks like they should appear from the side, but who knows. Regardless, it's a damn sight better than the hole in the terrain we're used to, and my goodness doesn't this look pretty. The graphics are incredible and they've clearly put a lot of work into the lighting system. Because I'm me, I decided to play around with some backstage facilities in order to power a flat ride. I placed a solar panel and connected it to the existing path, deciding to go multi-level just to test myself and the pathing system, but it connected rather nicely. I found all the build pieces I needed from the corrugated wall set. Nothing worse than an incomplete build set, right? Directly transferred from Zoo, mechanics now have their own workshop facility, which is great. Yet another way to pack out those backstage areas. Happy Moomin. I placed my distributor and connected it to the solar panel. Hurrah! Moving on to the flat ride, I wanted to jump straight in and add some scenery to the ride. I gave one of the cars a weird boxy hat just to see how well it moved with the ride, and I was not disappointed. Look at it sway. Now, with the intention of actually attempting a basic theme for the ride, I painted it yellow and added some lamps to the top using the new mirror and twinning features to duplicate it across the ride. It looks like some kind of weird alien submarine baby. Next up, I had a look at something that drove us all mad in Planet Coaster: fonts. I found this wonderful plain text and had a look at what was on offer, and it was definitely an improvement. Unfortunately, we are still seeing similar issues. Low quality textures, overlapping letters, but there's certainly more options and they definitely look better. Next was of course time for scaling. Where this wall would have been too small to bridge the gap between the path and the ride pad, scaling saves the day. How wonderful. I'm not entirely sure how I did it, but I did this with my pathing and it just connected, which was nice. Also, we have a huge selection of dirt and grime decals in the base game. Yay! Oh yeah, and I built a pool. Anyway, this was my first hands-on experience with Planet Coaster 2. I had a wonderful time and I can't wait to play more. If you want to, subscribe, but I'll leave that up to you, and I promise next time I'll do some actual coaster and water park stuff. Maybe. Until next time.